Welcome to another Tech Talk video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to program one of the new SXR servos. So this is my 12th scale servo, and this system applies with the 1/10 scale programmable servo and any other programmable servo that supports the Sanwa system. You need the RX482 or any servo with the SSL capabilities and the telemetry function. So that's a requirement. So on the RX482 receiver, there is a port that actually says SSL and battery. I'm pretty sure that also when it says battery and says that it has the telemetry enabling system on here that you would plug into the battery, but don't quote me on that. Check that out. So what you would do is, to enable the servo into the programmable mode, you would plug the servo into the SSL port and then begin this process. So that's your initial start point before you get going with the handset. So as I say, plug your servo in, get that into the programmable mode, and then you can start programming your servo. But you need to set your handset up to give yourself that functionality, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So we have the transmitter on, and I wanted to show you what the end result looks like after the process. So I've got it on buggy wet here, which is already set up. I'm going to go into my racing menu because I'm in the advanced menu system, and I'm going to go up to auxiliary 2, and you can see that I've got my settings on the left hand side here that match the settings on the program card that you get with the servo. Without the servo program box, you can change 7 of the 10 settings. So if you want to change these last 3, you actually need to get the program box. And what you'll see here is I'm in race mode 1. With the servo, you get 3 options: low, medium and high traction settings for the servo with the 12th scale servo. With the 10th servo, you don't get this, but you can find some settings online, and I'll click a link in the contents box below for you to be able to go out and search that. So how this works is that with the 3 different settings, I can then assign the race mode setting to one of the switches at the top, or trim settings, which allows me to change my race mode. So race mode 1, when I press this button here, selects type 1 of the servo settings. I press the button up the top here, it changes the color, race mode 2, race mode 3. So race mode 1, 2 and 3 give my servo type 1, 2 and 3, and I can do that on the fly. So when the car's going down the straight, it allows me to change my setting and see how that's going to fit. So if I might be in round 1 and I feel the grip's coming up, I might want to flick it onto race 2 or race setting 2 to give me some different feels. Again, certainly something that I would have practiced. I wouldn't obviously take that straight to a national. That's what club meets are for, to do that kind of testing and track test days. In much the same way as you would have a preset for your expo or a preset for your dual rate that you'd want to switch to at a certain point. It's very much the same situation. So with that being said, I'm going to now come out of buggy wet, and I'm going to show you how to go through the full process. So I'm going to get myself a different model here. So let's go up to model 11. You'll see all of these lights disappear now. and back to the start here. So this is a clean model, and you'll actually see on the top of the handset here, you'll see the lights are red, which shows me that the speed that my servo is running in, or the speed at which the transmitter is speaking to the receiver, is at its slowest mode. I wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to Try Hard, who's on RC Tech. He gave me the insights in how to do this, a step-by-step guide, and I felt obliged to share that with you, because this is not an easy process, and certainly the instruction manual that you get with the servo doesn't cut anywhere near the slack that it needs to get you through to being able to set your transmitter up. So just to reiterate, this is a setup process that you allow your transmitter to speak to your servo. You've also got the program box that allows you to program the servo independently as well. That will give you the full 10 modes of setup, whereas the transmitter only gives you 7 out of the 10. So let's get on. First things first, I need to switch on the setup. So I'm going to go into the system menu, and I'm going to go down to bind, and it actually comes under the telemetry mode. So I'm going to switch this telemetry on. With the telemetry on, you've now got LED 2 on. And then I'm going to come down to change my channel 1 and channel 2 from SHR to SSR. So SSR is now selected on both channel 1 and channel 2. And now I've got a change in lights at the top of my transmitter that tells me I'm in the right speed with my transmitter talking to my servos. Now I'm going to come back out of there. Now what I need to do is I need to turn on the auxiliary code 2 to switch on the 10 options that are available to me. So I need to stay in the system menu, and I need to scroll up and get to the auxiliary type, scroll down to auxiliary 2, and now change that to code 10. Now I've got code 10 on, it now gives me the 10 options available to me to change 7 out of them of the 10. Now I'm going to come back out of that, and now I'm going to switch on my race modes. So I'm going to come out of this set and go to racing. Now I'm in race mode here, and race mode is effectively switched off, and you'll see this light pop up. I'm now going to switch her on, and there are 2, 3, 4 or 5 race modes. I'm going to switch the full 5 on. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to switch 3 on because there's only 3 options open to me at this time. In fact, no, let's leave 5 open, because that way it will give me the use of 4 and 5 as trials of me fiddling around and playing with a couple of different setups. At least 1, 2 and 3 are permanent and been preset almost by Sanwa as an advisory setups for low, medium and high grip. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll down, and what these side menus here are all the various options that the race mode allows me to change. But all I want to switch on is code auxiliary 2. So now code auxiliary 2 is on. Now I can come back out of that, and now I'm going to go up to code auxiliary 2. Code auxiliary 2. Now this is the menu that we now alter these different variables. Now in the menu that I showed you at the start, it had these words set out, or titles set out on the left hand side. All I simply did was went in and changed them. So I can adjust what that says by adjusting these various letters. So I can just make that say stretch. Now, the first one, code 1, is not stretch. Code 1 is actually SSL channel. So stretch actually starts from code 2, which is why you saw at the start. Code 2 is stretch, code 1 was SSL channel. Then to change, I'm going to roll the scroller down. So code 2, as we know, as I said, is stretch, and I'm going to change this to 55. I click it, it begins to flash. Now I can move it up and down, but I'm going to move it to a positive 55. When I get to 55, I'm going to click and hold. Goes back to 0. That is now set. When you're doing this, you would have your servo plugged in, the battery on, the ESC on, it's all powered up, and the servo would be plugged into the SSL port on your transmitter, on your receiver. Your servo would be plugged into the SSL port on your receiver. All of it switched on. Now code 3 is boost, 25. I scroll up, press and hold back to 0. I would work through all of those, setting them as I go. I'd now come back out, and that's now set up in race mode 1. If I wanted to assign that button to change my race modes, I would need to go in and use the assign button. Sorry, it's in system. And then I would want to go down to switch. I believe this is switch 2. Now I would scroll down, race mode. I'd select race mode, come out, and now when I press this button here, you can see it changes the race modes and the lights change. So I'm then able to go back in to racing, select my race mode, and then adjust race mode 2 with my new settings for type 2 here. And then I would be able to just, as I say, scroll through race 1, race 2, race 3 settings. It's a complicated process, and you might need to watch that video back a few times to give you some insights or to get that nailed down. Hopefully it's been useful. It's, as I say, long process, but it will make you then be able to set your transmitter with 3 various setups with the servo and give you more options on the racetrack. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe, enjoy your racing. Make sure you click and like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.